Hi, second graders. This is Miss Joyce. Today I'm talking to you about rounding. I'm going to show you the steps that we take when we're rounding a number. The first number that we're going to round is, let's round 12. Now in second grade, we're rounding to the nearest 10. So I'm going to give you the steps that we take to round a number to the nearest 10. I have written the steps here. So the first step is that we need to underline the tens place. So in this number, you know that there's a 1 in the tens place, 2 in the ones place. I'm going to underline that 1 in the tens place. My first step is done. My second step is to start a number line beginning with that 10, which is 10, that's 110, and ending with the next. So let me show you what I mean by this. Here's my number line. I'm going to start it with 110 in the tens place. So I'm starting it with the number 10, and I'm ending my number line with the next 10. If I'm skip counting by tens, I would say 10, 20. So here's my number line. I'm done with the next step. The third step is to fill in the numbers on this number line and then see which 10 is closer to my number, which is 12. So I'm going to fill in my number line. When I make mine, I like to mark the middle and then do what's halfway between these. Well, I know that 5 is halfway between 0 and 10, so 15 is halfway between 10 and 20. And then I go, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, so now I filled in the numbers. Now I need to see which 10 is closer to my number. So my final step is I can put a star or I can circle my number on my number line. And now I'm just going to look and use my eyes. Is this number closer to 10 or 20? I'm rounding it to the nearest 10. It looks to me like it's closer to 10 because it's 2 steps away from 10, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 steps away from 20. So then if I'm rounding 12 to the nearest 10, it rounds to the number 10. Okay, stick with me. We're going to do another number. Let's flip my page like this. Okay, this time I'm going to round a bigger number. Let's round 37. Okay, my first step, I'm going back to my chart that I made. Underline the tens place. Well, I know that's here. Now I'm going to start a number line beginning with that 10. So this time, instead of like before, my number line started with 10. This is a 3 in the tens place, which means 10, 20, 30. My number line starts at 30. And it ends with the next 10. So if I'm skip counting by tens, I would say 10, 20, 30, 40 would go here. Step 2 is done. Step 3, fill in the numbers and see which 10 is closer to my number. Okay, so I'm going to do my thing again where I mark the middle. 5 goes in the middle, 35. And then I'm going to do, that would be 34, 33, 32. I think I need to get a smaller marker. 31, 36, 37. Oh, that's my number. 38, 39. Whew, I'm a little cramped, but I can still see. Now I need to mark my number. My number's 37. And I'm trying to round it to the nearest 10. Is this number closer to 30 or 40? Now, just using my eyes, I can tell that it's closer to this side of the number line. It's closer to 40 because it's 1, 2, 3 steps away. If your number line gets kind of smushy like mine, just count how many numbers are in between. So that's 1, 2, that's 3 away from being 40. It's a lot more numbers away from 30. So then 37 rounds to 40. Are you getting it? How do you feel? I'm going to do one more with you, and then I want you to try on your own. Now this one I'm going to do, I'm going to say, let's see, 65. Let's round it to the nearest 10. My first step, underline the tens place. Second step, start my number line with that 10. That's a 6 in the tens place. 6 tens is 60. I start with 60, and then I end with the next 10. Skip count by tens if you need to. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Mark the middle. Oh, interesting. What do I do if my number is exactly in the middle between 60 and 70? Because it's not closer to either one. I'm going to tell you, anytime you have 5, we're going to round up and we're going to say that it's closer to 70. This is just a rule of the world. I'm not sure who decided it or when or why. Let me think. 61, 62, 63, 64. But that's the way it is. So I'm just going to put my tick marks here. You know what I would do. If I started this and said, which one is it closer to? I can't tell because it's in the middle. Anytime you have one with 5, it's automatically going to round up to the next 10. So instead of being closer to 60, we're saying it's closer to 70, even though it's in the middle. Tricky stuff. Now, if you are someone who feels like you're ready for a challenge, you can do a bigger number. You can do a number in the hundreds place. That goes up to the hundredth place. So I'm going to say 342 is my number. I can still follow these steps. My first step, underline the tens place. Second step, start a number line that starts with that 10. Now this number line is not going to start with 40. It's going to start with 340. Let's see. And then it's going to end with the next 10. The next 10 would not be 400. It's just going to be one more than this. 110 more than 342 is 352. So, not 452, but you know what I mean, 350. Okay, the middle between 40 and 50, honestly, it's like we're not even working with hundreds anymore. We're still looking at these tens. Halfway between these two would be 45, only it's 345. And then I would just plug in my numbers. So 341, 342, 343, 344, 345, 346, 47, and so on. And then you would say, okay, find my number. Is it closer here or here? I can see it's only 2 steps away from being 340. So 342 rounds to being 340. In second grade, you're actually not required to do numbers this big, but if you are someone like, I know a few of you like a challenge, you can try rounding numbers that are into the hundreds place. So I'm going to leave you with this. These are our steps. Step 1, underline the tens place. Let's go back to an easy problem. Step 1, underline the tens place, which we did. Step 2, start a number line beginning with that 10. So a 1 in the tens place, that gave me a 10. Ending with the next 10. 10 more than 10 is 20. And then fill in your numbers. See, use your eyes, which one it's closer to. Count the numbers in between if you need to. And then I just like to make an arrow saying what it rounds to. You could also say 12 rounds to 10. I am going to leave you an assignment with some numbers that you can round at home. If you have paper, pencil, marker, anything to write with, I would like you to try rounding these numbers and then report back to me. Let me know how it goes. Miss you guys.